My wife does not joke around as far as messing around with other men and everything. Sometimes I wish she was a little more loose. She wouldn't be the way she was. But this is about the funniest thing and about the most you'll ever get out of her. She come home and she smiled and goes, Mitchell, you'll laugh at this. She said there's an older gentleman come in. She said he was up in his 70s, and she works in the back and the clothes and everything else. And he kind of started hanging around her, and she said, you know, you could tell he liked me. And he said he just started to make a conversation. And he said, well, I just lost my third wife. I'm a widower here about first of the year. And he said he'd go on. He said he was talking to her like a little schoolboy. You could tell he had the hots for her. And he said, I've got my own plane right over there at the airstrip. He said, yeah. She said the conversation went along for a few minutes, and she was like, is this guy ever going to leave? And he said, hey, did I tell you that I'm single and I've got my own plane at the airport? And she's like, oh, okay. And she said, you know, he's nice. You got to be nice to customers. She said it went on another few minutes, and she said, I guess he finally gave up. And she said he was walking away, and he looked back as he was walking away, and he said, did I tell you I'm single and I got my own plane at the airport? And she said, yeah. And I said, well, you know what he was wanting to do. And she said, yeah. I said, he's wanting you to join the Mile High Club. And I said, that was probably your last and only chance to do the Mile High Club. I said, I don't fly. And I said, why didn't you? And she goes, ugh. Later.